A hidden crisis is spreading across America's farmlands. Wildboar is relentlessly crushing forests and destroying pastures. Studies have found losses of $1,600,000,000 0 cents across 13 states, with Texas losing $871 million 0 cents. Georgia losing $162 million 0 cents. Oklahoma losing $116 million 0 cents. Each farm loses $2,415 0 cents a year, with fields devastated and dreams shattered. Across the border, Canadian farmers are fighting back, trapping hundreds of these beasts with poison and drones. Could their bold tactics inspire American farmers to reclaim their land? The fight is on, and hope is at stake. The battle against wild boars is not for the faint of heart. Canadian farmers have to outsmart these elusive creatures at every turn, and they've learnt to use innovative tools and techniques to do so. One of the most effective methods is the corral trap, a large enclosure made from heavy-duty metal panels baited with grains like corn or oats. Once a group of boars enters, remote-controlled gates, often triggered by smartphone apps, snap shut, trapping dozens in a single sweep. Some of these traps are equipped with live feed cameras, allowing farmers to monitor the action in real time and ensure a successful catch. In Saskatchewan, this approach has turned the tide in fields that were once ravaged by boar invasions. But these traps aren't the only weapon in the farmer's arsenal. Box traps, smaller and portable, are used to target individual boars or small groups. With motion sensors and wireless alerts, these traps ping farmers' phones the moment they've caught a boar, enabling swift action under the cover of night. As most boars are nocturnal, farmers have turned to thermal imaging drones and night vision cameras to track their movements. With these high-tech tools, farmers can pinpoint the exact locations of boar sounders and position their traps. Then there's the clever baiting strategy. Farmers use fermented grains, molasses and even fruit to lure boars to trap sites over several days, gradually making them more comfortable with the traps. It's a game of patience and precision, but the rewards are immense. The Judas pig tactic, which involves using GPS-collared boars to betray their kin, has proven a game changer, enabling farmers to track and capture entire sounders with ease. As advanced as the traps are, outwitting wild boars is no easy feat. These animals are not only destructive, they're also incredibly smart. Boars quickly learn to avoid traps after just one encounter, forcing farmers to constantly innovate. New bait types, redesigned trap layouts, and even the use of decoy traps are all part of the strategy to stay one step ahead. Meanwhile, hunting restrictions in places like Ontario have scattered boar sounders, making them even harder to capture. Add to that the vast territories where boars roam, and it becomes clear why the task is so daunting. Canada's 386,000 square mile boreal range spans everything from the dense forests of northern Alberta to the open plains of Manitoba. Monitoring these areas is a monumental task, one that stretches resources thin. Perhaps the most overwhelming challenge, though, is the boar's explosive reproduction. A single sow can give birth to 6 to 12 piglets twice a year, meaning that wild boar populations are growing by up to 9% annually. Without constant intervention, these populations will continue to surge, and soon Canada could face an uncontrolled nationwide crisis. Titan, the largest wild hog ever seen in Hill County, turned a quiet Texas neighborhood into a war zone. The 800-pound creature with massive tusks caused a crash on County Road 12 when a pickup truck swerved to avoid it, but fortunately the occupants were able to get to the hospital safely. Fences were smashed, lawns trampled, and hoof prints were left deep. In Season 2, traps failed and nighttime rifle shots missed their target, making Titan bolder and more dangerous. As the town panicked and accidents continued, the farmer knew that Titan had to be stopped with bullets or barricades before it caused more trouble. The start of summer is the peak season for wild hogs, with Titans roaming around hungry and desperate. The farmer grabs a .38 108 rifle loaded with heavy gauge bullets to dispatch them quickly. Texas allows wild hog hunting year-round, but the heat of summer makes Titans more active, attacking roads at dusk. A good shot is important, as a miss can send the Titans disappearing, and they become smarter and harder to track. But hunting isn't enough. Titans keep escaping, and the neighborhood needs protection now. A wildlife expert urged a smarter plan. Fence the titan in first, then hunt it if necessary. The farmer pulled 48-inch galvanised wild hog shields from Tractor Supply. They're 4x4-inch mesh made to stop a charging hog. T-posts and heavy-duty electrical wire were added to deliver the Titan's shock. The setup was aimed at the edge of the road, where the Titan crossed from the woods. The shields were buried a foot deep to prevent digging, and solar chargers powered two 6- and 24-inch wires to deliver a safe but powerful shock. You should also know that woven wire mesh fencing is a strong and humane solution. To prevent pigs from digging underneath, the fence must be buried 12 inches deep and 48 inches high to prevent wild boars from getting through. Woven fences can withstand the force of a mid-sized pickup truck like a 4,000 to 5,000 pound Ford Ranger, crashing into them at 15 amp, according to tests by the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. At $2.00 a foot, they're ideal for small farms or yards near roads, where wild boars are known to cause havoc. Do you know, when is the best time to hunt in Texas? Summer is the ideal time to hunt wild hogs, with relaxed state regulations allowing year-round hunting to limit their destructive impact. The Texas Parks and Wildlife Department actively supports this effort. Stable summer weather, with temperatures often reaching 90 degrees Fahrenheit and clear skies, increases hunter visibility for wild hogs. This makes it easier for hunters to track and knock down wild hogs. But the heat can be difficult for even seasoned hunters. According to Texas A&M AgriLife Extension, When summer conditions remain stable without heavy rain or storms, hunters across Texas can take more than 500,000 wild hogs each year. This robust intervention helps protect rural communities from property damage, such as trampled crops and broken fences, while reducing road accidents caused by wild boars, ensuring safer landscapes and sustainable agriculture. Think wild boars are the only invasive species causing trouble? Think again. On August 10, 2022, my beach vacation in Benarife, Spain turned into a disaster when a group of 15 feral pigs charged onto the shore. Tourists scrambled to safety as the boars disrupted everything. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the damage totaled $1,200,000, severely impacting the local tourism industry. This invasion didn't just cause panic, it dealt a massive blow to the Costa del Sol's economy. But the chaos doesn't stop there, as bears that have escaped from circuses and ancient hunting practices have become aggressive, attacking humans and livestock. Human activities such as habitat destruction and mistreatment in circuses have increased bear populations and aggression. A 2021 incident caused $800,000, 0 cents in damage, in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, where an escaped circus bear disrupted local farms and tourism. Are coyotes next lurking in the prairie, ready to wreak havoc on farms? Now, Montana ranchers are facing a battle with coyotes. These images reveal their terrifying tactics under the moonlight, moving silently in packs, taking advantage of gaps and fences. With terrifying precision, they target stray sheep, striking in quick succession to avoid guard dogs. In the rugged mountains of Alaska, a 2020 bear hunting turned tense. Four hunters, following strict Alaska safety protocols, signed permits and brought pepper spray, high caliber rifles and first aid kits for the treacherous slopes. On a misty ridge near Lake Clark, they froze as two bears, one brown and one black, appeared. The closer brown bear, an 800-pound bear at 150 yards, became their target rather than the skinny 400-pound black bear hunting at 300 yards, favouring the close range for a more accurate shot. They scrambled up the cliffs, bracing their falls with climbing gear and radios. This breathless hunt showed the danger and raw precision required to take on nature's predators. Could drones or sensors make these chases easier? Some hunters, on the other hand, chose bait over hiking, targeting a 600-pound brown bear hunting near Lake Clark.
So, I'm just gonna throw a little bit of that in there.
Four hunters perched on 10-foot tree stands used 500 pounds of corn and $200, 0 cents, worth of oats to lure it. The method, seen on Alaskan game hunts, requires 4 to 6 hours of checking and preparing bait each day. Secured from high perches for accurate shots, the bait reliably attracts the bear, saving hours of stalking. After the bear hunt is over, the tension in the woods is still there, but now the hunters have turned their attention to another threat. Hunters use modern equipment such as night vision goggles and infrared lights. These devices not only help them see in the dark, but also help them pinpoint the location of coyotes as they move through the deserted fields. Although hunting at night is allowed, there are strict limits. Each hunter is only allowed to take down 2 to 5 animals at a time. In fields that are in restricted areas or do not have a hunting license, the authorities will not hesitate to intervene. Daytime hunting, especially early morning or late afternoon when coyotes are on the move in search of food, is the ideal time. At this time, the light is strong enough to see clearly, but not too harsh, making it easy for hunters to observe and approach the target without being detected. The ideal distance for hunting coyotes during the day is from 300 to 600 feet, a distance that allows the hunter to attack accurately but still maintain his safety. Moreover, the hunter must take advantage of the terrain, hide behind bushes, mounds, and always keep a distance.
Great.
One special thing about this hunt is that hunters in Texas have optimized the use of traps to catch wild pigs, an invasive species that is a major threat to agriculture and the environment. Traps help hunters catch many pigs without having to get close, minimizing risks and ensuring high efficiency. Each time they trap, Texans can catch 10 to 20 wild pigs. However, the question is whether traps can be used to hunt coyotes or bears. Sounds hard to believe, right? In Brazil, farmers are digging war-style trenches just to stop wild boars. In just one night, these invasive species can flatten an entire field, moving in swarms and destroying everything in their path. No fences, no electricity, just a deep ditch. And here's the kicker, it worked. In many rural parts of Brazil, wild boars are a relentless nightmare. They don't just ruin crops, they crush corn, uproot cassava, topple sugarcane, attack livestock, and even spread disease. A single night can cost farmers $2,000, 0 cents to $10,000. They're fed up with watching their hard work get obliterated time and again. So they took a different approach. Forget electric fences, traps, or chemicals. They're digging deep, wide ditches around their fields. The idea is deceptively simple. When boars charge in, they hit a barrier they can't cross. They can't jump over or climb up, so they fall in. And once they're down there, getting out is no small feat. At first, people thought these ditches were extreme, but the results, boars either get stuck or give up. They're completely blocked. Who would have thought such a basic solution could be so smart and effective? These ditches are no joke. In some places, they're so deep and wide they look like military fortifications. For farmers, it's the most practical way to save a season's worth of grueling work. Wild boars aren't just a nuisance, they're a major threat. They move in packs, destroying with eerie coordination. One night can wipe out months of effort. Worse still, they carry the risk of spreading disease. In southern and southeastern Brazil, a single night can rack up thousands in damages. Tired of cleaning up the aftermath, farmers decided to act from the start. That's when these ditches started popping up. The ditches are typically 3 to 5 feet deep and over a metre wide, with steep slopes that make climbing out nearly impossible. For large fields, building them is a real challenge. Many farmers dug miles of ditches around their land. It's no easy task, but the payoff is clear. Boars can't get in. Some farmers worry, though, if ditches become common, will boars learn to avoid them? Or will they just move to areas without ditches? The biggest advantage? No electricity, no fences, no poison, no constant monitoring, no risk of tampering. These ditches stand quietly, doing their job like a natural, rock-solid barrier. They're nearly impossible to breach. They work silently, causing no panic for other animals. No smells, no electricity, no chemicals. Almost perfect, right? But nothing comes free. Digging ditches requires heavy machinery, skilled labour, fuel, and loads of time. The costs don't end with digging. In heavy rain areas, soil erodes easily, and ditches can fill with mud, turning into stagnant pools or clogged channels. A defence structure can become a muddy mess if not maintained properly. That's why a solid drainage system with flow channels and retaining walls is critical to keep ditches functional year-round, especially during rainy seasons. Safety is another big concern. Without clear markings, ditches can become dangerous traps for machinery or workers. In some US states, they use helicopters to take down herds of wild boars from the air. But those methods are expensive and can damage the environment. That's where Brazil's ditch digging strategy stands out as an effective, low-cost and environmentally friendly solution. In Sao Paulo, where herds of wild boars once numbered as many as 200, fields can be destroyed overnight. That's why more and more farmers are taking the initiative, turning ditches into protective walls on modern farms. That's why Brazil's ditch strategy is seen as one of the few cost-effective, efficient and sustainable ways to tackle wild boars. When you see fields surrounded by warlike trenches, don't laugh. That's the work of farmers fighting to protect their crops, their land and their future. In the scorched desert of southern Arizona, the San Pedro River was once a green haven teeming with wildlife. By the 1990s, it was a ghost river, dry most of the year. Its wetlands wrecked by overgrazing and a fur trade that nearly erased its beavers. These buck-toothed builders, once so common that the river was nicknamed Beaver River, were hunted out by the 1920s for their pelts and castoreum. But in 1999, Arizona's wildlife folks started bringing them back, releasing 15 beavers into Cochise County's parched streams. By 2006, over 30 dams and maybe 100 beavers had transformed the place. Dry gullies became ponds, wetlands bloomed, and birds like the endangered willow flycatcher surged by 50%. The river flowed longer, even during droughts, saving ranchers and reducing wildfire risks. But beavers don't just build dreams, they can stir up trouble. Their dams flooded fields, swamped roads and turned pastures into bogs, ticking off farmers. By 2010, beavers were chewing through cottonwoods faster than they could grow, threatening orchards and shade trees that old timers cherished. In 2008, a flood wiped out all 30 dams, though the beavers rebuilt fast. By 2019, their numbers crashed to a handful. Some blame mountain lions, others whisper about illegal poaching, a grim nod to the fur trade days. So, how do you keep these beavers in check without wrecking their good work? First up, there's the beaver deceiver, a clever tool catching on fast. It's a sturdy PVC pipe or sometimes a big drainage tube, slipped right through a beaver dam. The pipe lets water flow quietly without the rush or noise that'd tip off the beavers to plug it back up. This keeps water levels low enough to save nearby fields and roads from flooding, all while leaving the wetlands those life-giving ponds beavers create untouched. Ranchers are all for it. No need to tear down dams or butt heads with nature. The Bureau of Land Management's been setting these up since the 2000s, especially around farms where folks want to coexist with beavers, not chase them off. For bigger problems, like when beavers overbuild or chew too many trees, trapping steps in. From November to April, Arizona's regulated trapping season lets licensed hunters use specialized gear to catch beavers, harvesting fur or castoreum for perfumes. It's about balance, not wiping them out. Relocating beavers is an option, but it's pricey and rare. Strict rules prevent a repeat of the 1,800 fur trade frenzy though. Overtrapping could still harm the ecosystem. By 2024, San Pedro's beaver count hit 11 to 14, but with deceivers and careful trapping, the river stays lush. We just gotta manage them right. Using guns this way is counterproductive. First, it's a legal mess that puts poachers at risk of fines or worse, especially given Arizona's strict wildlife laws. It's reckless, and bullets don't just hit beavers, they can ricochet and hit nearby animals. Plus, stray bullets near the US-Mexico border, where the San Pedro River runs, add to tensions with concerns about cross-border smuggling, like the gun trafficking lawsuits Mexico has filed against Arizona dealers. So here's the question, if you were a rancher who lost a crop to a beaver dam, would you pick up a rifle or trust humane equipment to keep the floodplain safe?
These approaches have been great at stopping the spread of some invasive species. Got any ideas for even better solutions? Drop your thoughts in the comments so we can all dive into it together. Thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video. If you liked it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And hey, be sure to tell your friends about us too so they can check it out. Bye and see you in the next video.